far enough away. Okay. All right, so we're actually going to begin seated today. So just take a minute if you need to set yourself up, if you need any blocks, if you need any blankets, any whatnot. And we're going to get started. Okay. So starting in seated today, finding a really nice, easy way to sit that's not too complicated for the hips, for the knees. We're making sure that the shoulders are reset so they're back. Opening up the chest and creating that pride, but not puffing out the chest too much. Trying to maintain a flat back. Today is really going to be about giving back to the self. So in that case, we're going to make sure that our palms are facing down. Palms facing down means that we're in a receiving position. So we are receiving what it is that we're putting out. The breath that we are breathing today is really going to be focused entirely in our bodies. It's a little bit easier to notice the energy or listen to the sounds of the breath if you're in a public setting. But since we're not, this is really going to be the type of class that nourishes and nurtures the self. So again, starting in seated, palms facing down, hands are on the knees. Et même on utilise nos mains ici juste pour être sûr que le dos reste plat. So your hands are facing down so that you're keeping the body accountable. You're not pulling the heart through. And you're also not collapsing into your low back and rounding into the spine. Je vous invite ici de commencer de noter vos respirations, la qualité, la profondeur. Peut-être ce sont les premières respirations le plus profond aujourd'hui. So noticing that maybe these might be the first conscious breaths of your day. Maybe noticing if you could create sounds with your nose as you inhale and exhale through it. Et peut-être, si on a un petit peu de la misère de rester présente, peut-être on peut fermer les yeux s'ils ne sont pas déjà fermés. Sometimes having the eyes open invites a little bit of distraction, so let's try to drown out some of that noise, whether it's visual, whether it's auditory, whether it's mental, emotional. And I invite you here to just breathe into exactly who it is that you are in this moment, on this day, at this time. Whether you're tuning in live or after the fact. Whatever it is that you've gone through, whether it's daytime or nighttime, just allow yourself to be wherever it is that you are in this moment, in this time, in this now. Je vous invite de prendre nos 3 respirations ici. 3 more, no rush to start moving. Slowly prepare the body. And your last one. Nice and gently begin to flutter your eyes open, come back to your space. Take the time to let everything readjust. Maybe roll the shoulders back. Maybe sway the torso a little bit side to side, or gently twist. Just come back into the body. And shake it all out. Come back to center. We're going to place our right hand down onto the mat, so we're going to be leaning over to the right side. So bend into the right elbow. Inhale, brings up the left arm nice and high to the sky. Avec une extension dans le bras, on expire, puis on descend l'épaule. So drop that shoulder out of your ear. Keep that openness in your heart. On inspire, les points des doigts vers le ciel. Puis pendant qu'on expire, on plie dans la coude, bend into your elbow and slowly melt yourself over to the right side. Make sure that your hip isn't lifting up. On utilise la main qui est juste à côté de nous, de pousser les deux fessiers également sur le tapis, dans le plancher, dans la terre. Take 2 more. Last one, finding a lot of pride and extension in the arm. Beaucoup d'espace entre les oreilles et les épaules. On pousse dans la main droite, puis on change de côté. On inspire, come up, travel through center, and kind of windmill the hands, bend into the elbow. Make sure you reset this shoulder, and then begin to bend into that elbow, opposite side. Fait que maintenant, côté gauche. Always trying to maintain a ton of space in the throat, in the neck, in the heart, between the shoulders and the ears. Last 2. And 1. Pressing into your left hand, come back to center, reach both arms to the sky, find prayer. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We're gonna take 3 really nice, powerful breaths. So if you live with anybody, they may notice a little bit of sound coming from your room, but that's totally okay. If they are worried, just let them know you're breathing, okay? So what we're going to do is we're gonna take a really nice, sharp inhale, and then a nice, sharp exhale out the mouth. So it's going to sound like this, deep breath in. Really just push it all out. So we're gonna do that 3 times all together. Hands can remain at heart center in prayer, or you can bring them to your knees, facing downwards, tall spine, deep breath in. And push it out. 2 more. Notice the way the shoulders drop on the exhale, last one. Lick your lips, seal them closed, and begin breathing in and out through the nose for your inner fire breath. Open your eyes if you've closed them, release the shoulders. We're gonna turn our body around. Fait qu'on vient sur les mains et les genoux. Les mains juste en dessous nos épaules, les genoux en dessous les hanches, hands under shoulders, knees underneath your hips, looking up towards the top of your mat. So we're finding a neutral spine. Really ground into all 10 fingers here. Et notez que l'intérieur de vos épaules, vos coudes, un face à l'autre. Face your insides of your elbows to each other. Look forward, press the hands and the knees down evenly. So you're creating this force as you're pushing down. And you're keeping the belly button parallel to the floor and maintaining a parallel spine as well. So you're not dropping your belly down and you're not rounding in the spine. One more breath. Just in a static tabletop pose. Cat-cow for 3. Inhale, drop your belly. Take a moment here. Notice how you can guide it down a little bit more instead of just dropping it down. Pick up your heart. On garde vers le ciel. On continue de pousser dans les 10 doigts. Et on expire l'ombris vers la colonne vertébrale. So bring your belly button towards your spine as you round into your back. Take 2 more. Drop the belly. On inspire, on descend le ventre avec intention. Et expiration, rondeur. So this is balance, finding that concave and convex. One last time, breath in. And your breath out. Come back to neutral, flat back, walk the knees together. On vient sur les orteils côté gauche. So come onto your left toes, just the legs. Inhale, kick the right leg up, find a curvature in the spine. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. 2 more times, then we bring in the opposite arm. Breathe in, kick. Exhale. Last one, up. And connect. Cette fois-ci, bras gauche, jambe droite. So left arm, right leg, up, connect. 2 more. Last one. Inhale to extend it all the way out. Hold here, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, come back down. On change de côté, on commence seulement avec la jambe. Maintenant, jambe gauche. So left leg, breathe in, just the leg. Kick it up and connect. 2 more, un autre 2 fois. And your last one. Extend now, right arm, left leg, up. Et connexion. 2 more. Last one. Extend and hold. Breathe in. 3, 2, 1. Good. Exhale, come down. And round into the spine. Just let that go. On garde vers les cuisses. Maybe you shimmy your hips side to side. Maybe you even create circles with the hips. Come back to your tabletop pose quand vous êtes prête. On trouve notre chien à tête inversée, downward dog. Curl into your toes, send your hips up high. Et je vous invite de pédaler vos pieds ici. Walk out your dog. Notice if you're resting all of your weight on the base of your palm. Ground all your fingers in, especially index and thumb. Ici, on marche les mains vers les pieds. You're walking to the back of your mat. Keeping your feet planted, walk backwards. Find your halfway lift. Demi-remontée, le dos est plat. Flat back, good. Exhale, bring the weight into your toes and fold. Get really nice and heavy. Une autre fois, one more time. Breathe in, halfway lift. You could bring your hands to your shins. Couronne de la tête vers le haut de vos tapis. Et on expire, on devient très, très lourd. Really get heavy into the body. You can even grab for opposite elbows. Maybe even swaying side to side. Come back to center if you were swaying. Release your arms. Et ici, on déroule pendant notre inspiration. So inhale, slowly coming to rise. Once you reach the top, roll the shoulders back. And notice the way that you're set up. Try to evenly distribute the weight between all 4 corners of your feet. Fait qu'on peut garder vers les orteils. You can lift up your toes, separate each and every one of them, and then ground them back into the mat. Good. Inhale, circle the arms up to rise. Half sun salutation. On garde les mains en prière, expiration, et on plie, on plonge. On inspire pour notre demi-remontée, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, arms to rise. Hands come to your heart, exhale. Let's add a little bit more. Inhale, arms up. Keeping your hands in prayer again, hinge at the hips, tip over and fold. Halfway lift here, flat back, les mains juste en dessous nos genoux. Expiration, on marche dans notre position de plank. Exhale, plank pose and hold here. Good. Inhale, shifts the body weight forward. Exhale brings us back to our high plank. Good. Breathe in, forward. Keep your back flat. Exhale, push the heels back. So you're always maintaining your plank. 3 more. In and out. On inspire, on pousse. On expire, on revient dans notre position de planche. Une dernière fois. Forward and back. Cette fois-ci, on inspire, on dépasse les poignets avec les épaules, shoulders past the wrists, drop your knees, wrap your elbows, exhale, modified Chaturanga. 3, baby cobra, breathe in, float the hands off the floor, squeeze the elbows to your midline, exhale and come down. On ouvre les mains un petit peu plus, on reste sur les points des doigts, on your fingertips, breathe in, pick up your chest a little bit more, feel your pelvis ground into the earth. Exhale, come back down. Open up your hands a little bit wider one last time. Breathe in, squeeze the shoulders, lift up through the chest. Exhale, come back down. Les mains juste en dessous les épaules. Hands underneath your shoulders, curl your toes, lift your knees. Plank pose, breath in. Exhale for your downward facing dog. On inspire par le nez. Et on ouvre la bouche et on expire. Come high to the toes, bend the knees, step to your hands, 1 foot at a time. And then find your halfway lift. Demi-remontée. Et on plonge, expiration. On pousse dans les 2 pieds, on inspire, arms to rise. Breathe in, come up. Hands to your heart, exhale. Good. Take a deep breath in and out. Hands come to the hips, starting with warrior 1 to warrior 2. Fait qu'on commence avec le pied droit en avant. Take a nice big step back with your left foot, turning the toes 45 degrees. Fait qu'on commence guerrier 1. Les deux hanches, excuse-moi, les deux mains sur les hanches, direct your hips forward. Back toes are turned 45 degrees. Breathe in, arms come up. Exhale, bend into the front knee. Try to control the pelvis here. Try to notice the belly. On veut être sûr que ici, dans le dos et dans le ventre, on est égal. So you're not just like coming out here and you're not rounding here. Arms are nice and high. We breathe in. Juste les bras. Send the arms back. Exhale. Breathe in, up and back. Last one, up. And fingertips behind you. Guerrier 1 à guerrier 2. Breathe in, straighten the front leg. Exhale, widen your stance. And sink into your warrior 2. Arms are parallel to the floor. Take a breath in and out. Flip both palms, breathe in, rise. Expiration, guerrier 2. Encore un autre 2 fois, on inspire. On pousse, don't lock the knee as you come up. Exhale, find your warrior 2 again. Beautiful, last one. Inhale, rise. Exhale, arms are parallel, good. Seulement la main en avant, right hand flips to the sky. Dance out your warrior, breathe in, and we're gonna hold here for 3. On pousse toujours en avant. Knee rests above the ankle for 2. Use your hand here to balance you, but not to hold you up. Last one. Come back to your warrior 2. Inhale. Hands come to the hips. Straight front leg. Bend into your back leg and spring forward. One nice shot to the top of your mat. Good. If you have to take a few steps, don't worry about it. We're going to breathe in. Arms up. On inspire. Ici, on ouvre les bras et on plonge. Expiration. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step back into your plank. Let's do modified Chaturanga. Come back onto the knees. Wrap the elbows, come all the way down. Breathe in, just one, baby cobra. Exhale, travel through your knees. Curl your toes, hips up high, down dog. On inspire. Et on expire. Just for good measure, bring the big toes to touch. Right leg is going to rise. Breathe in. Genou au nez, knee to your nose. Breathe out. 2 more, up. Last one. Kick it up, breathe in. Come back to your downward dog, exhale. On vient sur les orteils, un petit pli dans les genoux, step, step, vers les mains, inspiration, le dos est plat, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Les mains devant le cœur, expiration. Fait exactement la même chose, mais l'autre côté. I'm just changing the mat because I want to be able to always follow the camera. Please stay where it is that you are. Les deux mains sur les hanches. Cette fois-ci, c'est la jambe droite en arrière. So right leg comes back, left leg is in front. Direct your hips forward. Sink into your knee. En arrière, le pli est complètement collé sur le tapis. Back foot has full contact. Breathe in, arms up. Just stay here, warrior 1, exhale. On inspire ici. Juste les bras, expiration, only the arms. 2 more. This is your transition breath. Straight front leg, come up, open up the hips. On marche, on marche, on marche, on marche. Et on descend. Hold your warrior 2 for 1 full breath. Good. Try to make sure your knee isn't passing your ankle. I know it's hard to see without a mirror, but this is where we get really, really good with understanding the body and how it feels. Flip both palms. Breathe in. Rise. Don't lock the front knee. On expire, puis on retourne vers notre guerrier 2. So now the palms are facing down. Good. 2 more. Flip the palms and then rise. Exhale, turn the palms down and drop. Sink into the front knee. Beautiful. 1 more. Inhale, up. And exhale back to your warrior two. Flip the front palm, guerrier dansant, excuse-moi. So dancing warrior. Notice the bend in your front knee. Are you still sinking into it for two more? Open up the heart. Last breath. Guerrier deux, warrior two. Hand to your hips. Good, straight front leg, bend into the back. If you need to hop it, don't worry about it. It's all good. Come back to the top, breathe in, arms to rise. Et on plonge. This is your choice if you'd like to swan dive or prayer fold forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. This time, plank to chaturanga, your choice. Step or hop back, either with or without the knees. Exhale, back bend, baby cobra, or maybe our first upward dog. Good, hips up high, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out. Remember those knee to nose, les deux pieds ensemble. Left leg up, exhale, knee to nose, connexion. On expire par la bouche. Un autre deux fois, two more. And one. Breathe in, rise. Exhale, drop the foot down. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Les deux pieds ensemble, right leg to rise. Breathe in, look forward and step your right foot through your hands. If you need to use your hand to guide it forward, by all means, high lunge. Come up, breathe in. Exhale, sink into your front knee. Beaucoup d'action en arrière. So we're not getting lazy with this back leg. Shoot that leg up and then sink into the front knee. Arms are here. Take a breath in and out. Juste les bras. On inspire. Keeping your torso proud. Exhale, send the arms back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, send it back. Last one. Notice the chest is proud. Up. Send it back. Keep your arms behind you. Exhale, hinge forward, runner's lunge. 3 times, just the arms. Breathe in and out. Un autre deux fois, juste les bras. Last one. I know that quad is burning. Good. Hands come to heart center. Bend into your back knee. Spring up. You might have a bit of balance issues just because we were really coming into that hip. Exhale, arms by your side. Kick your leg back. Flexion dans le pied gauche. Et on penche. Slowly start to come down to your best point of your toppling tree. Just making sure that you're one nice long line. Juste les bras, only the arms. Have you noticed a pattern yet? Up. Send it back. 2 more. Inhale. Soften that standing knee. Last one. Up. And send it back. Come all the way to rise. Bend into your left knee. Breathe in. Come up. Drop that foot down, exhale and fold. On inspire, demi-remontée. Open your feet the distance of your hips, exhale and fold. Ici, on peut prendre les coudes, ou sinon on peut prendre les chevilles ou les orteils. So either elbows in your hands, ankles in your hands, or your peace fingers wrap around your big toes. Take a deep breath in. If you're holding your ankles or your toes, bend those elbows and look between the knees. Take 2 more. Beaucoup d'ouverture dans le dos, dans les hanches. Beautiful. Head is really, really nice and heavy. Tête est très, très lourde. Beautiful. I have a chance to come up and see everyone. Last breath. Really release the shoulders out of the ears. Plus de poids dans vos orteils. Don't be shy. Wait into your toes. Yes. Génial. Release whatever it is you're holding on to, either elbows, ankles, or toes, and get extra, extra, extra heavy on this last exhale. Breathe in, slowly roll up les bras, la tête est très, 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 très lourde. Et on déroule. Good. Reach the top, roll your shoulders back, take a deep breath in, and exhale. We have another side. Avant ça, on float. Flush it out with a flow. Breathe in, arms up. Exhale and fold. On inspire. Position de planche, plank to chaturanga. Exhale, glue those elbows to your sides. Breathe in, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. On inspire. Et on expire. Good. Les deux pieds ensemble, l'autre côté, left leg to rise. Breathe in and look forward. Exhale, step the foot through the hands. Breathe in, arms to rise. And exhale, stay in your high lunge. Encore beaucoup d'activité en arrière, dans la jambe en arrière. Et encore juste les bras. Breathe in. Send the arms back. So notice here, torso is tall. Breathe in. Exhale. Knee is above the ankle. Last one. Breathe in. Exhale, arms come back. Keep your arms here. On penche, so send your chest forward. Encore, seulement les bras. Arms by the ears. Keep looking down, send them back. Un autre deux fois. Last one. Hands in prayer, bend into your back knee. Spring up, breathe in. Drop your arms down, kick your leg back, flexion dans le pied droit. Et on expire et on commence de pencher lentement. Slowly start to tilt down, using the hips like a hinge. So if you drop your chest, your leg follows you. Encore, seulement les bras. Last one. Find a point of focus, two more. Last one. Come all the way up, bring the right leg with you. Drop the foot down, exhale and fold. Again, breathe in, halfway lift. Expiration, on plonge. Again, elbows, ankles, or toes. Quatrième option, fourth option, lifting up your feet, sliding your hands underneath. Fait qu'avec les mains en dessous de nos pieds, les points des doigts touchent les talons et les orteils touchent les poignets. So in case you're not sure, this is what our hands look like. So not like this, like that. Good. If you are in this variation, imaginez que vous voulez retirer vos mains en dessous de vos pieds. That's the action. You're trying to pull your arms out, but they're not coming out. That's the vibe that we're going for. Take one more. Release your hands from wherever it is they are. Get really extra heavy on that last exhale. Et on déroule très lentement pendant qu'on inspire, slowly rolling to rise, stacking your vertebra, rolling the shoulders back. Let's get deep into our hips here. So first we're going to start with our chair pose. Take a walk to the top of your mat. On marche les orteils ensemble, so big toes come to touch. Actually, I'm going to go on this side. Big toes come to touch, heels are nice and open. Bend into the knees, sweep the arms back. Breathe in, rise. And then exhale, sink back down. Take one more. Les mains devant le cœur, hands in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in. Get really nice and proud with your chest. Exhale and twist over to the right side. On twist côté droit. Good. Fait qu'on pousse les deux mains ensemble. Notice how I'm closed in the chest here. You want to open up your heart. Et on veut garder vers nos genoux. On veut égaler les genoux. So make sure that your knees are even. Placing all of the weight into your right foot. Pick up your left foot and slowly send it back. So now we're in a twist with our legs, kind of in a lunge variation. Good. Take one more here. Come back to heart center. So notice how the torso comes forward. Breathe in. Exhale, drop the hands down. Drop your back knee and walk your hands up onto your right thigh. Exhale, sink down. Fait que les deux mains juste par-dessus la cuisse et on descend. Notice this dropping here. Yes. Opening up the hip, finding a lot of pride in the chest. Take one more. Drop your left hand to the inside of your right foot, curl into your back toes, engage the back leg and find your twist. Beautiful. On pousse dans les 5 doigts, all 5 fingers. Take a deep breath in and out. Walk your right foot a little bit more over to the right side. Fait qu'on marche le pied juste un petit peu pour qu'on peut placer les deux mains à l'intérieur de vos pieds droits. Yes, exactly. We're going to transition here into a side plank. So, take a step back with your right foot, roll onto your left foot, either placing one foot in front of the other pour plus balance. On peut déposer le genou gauche sur le tapis. So this would be number 1. Yeah. This would be number 2. We could also stack the feet, number 3. And if we're going for something really extra challenging today, option 4 is kicking up the top leg. Take one more breath here. Slowly come back onto your hands, find your plank pose, take a breath in, and Chaturanga, let it out. Upward dog or baby cobra, breathe in. Downward dog, exhale. On prend une inspiration ici, et on expire, on descend sur les genoux. Flip your hands like you had them before if you were stepping onto them, so your fingertips are pointing towards your knees. Yes, palms are facing the sky. Exhale and sit back towards your heels. This is going to be a really nice stretch for your wrists. Take 2. Last one. Good. Slowly release that out. If you need to sit and shake, if it was all a bit too intense, let it go. Take one breath. Find your downward facing dog, meeting us all there. Hips up high, shoulders out of the ears. Come high to the toes, bend the knees quand vous êtes prêts, step, step. Or hop to your hands, halfway lift. And fold. Inhale brings us to rise. Hands to heart center, exhale. Encore même chose, mais l'autre côté. So find your chair pose, big toes to touch, space behind the heels, bend into your knees, sweep back and up. Breathe in. Exhale and sink into your chair. Notice your pelvis, notice your belly, notice your back. Hands to heart center. Breathe in. Beaucoup de fierté. Expiration, l'autre côté, left side. Good. Right here, notice if you're relaxing a little bit too much onto your thighs. Ici, c'est le moment qu'on pousse les deux mains ensemble pour détacher le ventre de nos cuisses le plus possible. Always remember, we're trying to do this as best as we can. It doesn't mean you have to take your entire belly off of your thigh. Good. Placing all of the weight on the left foot, picking up your right, take your time, send it back. This is where you're going to notice encore, ça va devenir un petit peu mou dans le corps. Okay, we get a little bit soft here. This is where we reset and get strong with the upper body. Good, take 2 more. Maybe you fly your arms open if it's part of your practice. Last one, if this is you, this is where you're at. Hands in front of your heart, take a moment, detach from the thigh, come back to center. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up, Exhale, drop your hands down, come onto your back knee, uncurl the toes, walk up onto your thigh. On vient sur la cuisse. Garde. Ici, je suis par-dessus le genou, je veux descendre. So you want to come into the hips and out of the knee. Fierté dans la poitrine, on utilise les mains ici pour ça, so your hands are on your thigh for that pride in the chest. Last one. Right hand to the inside of your left foot, curl your back toes, lift, and find that twist. Reach up. So you're noticing that most of the work has to come from the thighs, from the glutes, and from the hips. We don't want to weaken that wrist too early because we have that side plank coming. Last one. Walk your left foot open just a little bit. Place both hands onto the floor. Maybe you take a moment in this really deep low lunge. And then you want to send that left foot back, plank pose, and then find your side plank. So if more balance is needed, the top leg comes in front. Fait que si on veut éviter ça, on veut oublier le genou. La jambe qui est par-dessus, ça va être la jambe droite. Le pied est en avant. Take two more. Last one. Breathe in. And come back into your plank. Either right into your downward dog or Chaturanga, exhale. If you're flowing, upward dog, breathe in. And downward dog, breathe out. Take an inhale and an exhale. High to the toes, bend the knees, step, step walker, float to your hands, halfway lift. Et on planche. On inspire, circle the arms to rise, come up. Hands to heart center, exhale. Let's really shake out those wrists. Again, if now you want to do that same exercise, you could do it standing by pulling your fingertips down or pulling your fingertips back. Once you've stretched out your wrists, standing in mountain pose, fait que les pieds sont en séparation de nos hanches. Un main sur le cœur, un main sur le ventre. We're going to take 4 breaths here. Again, we're coming back to this receiving position. So we're not in Tadasana with our palms out. Hands are facing the body. Breathe in. On trouve beaucoup d'amour pour nos corps. We find acceptance and love with our body, with our breath, with our mind. 2 more, actually. Let's go 2 more full breaths. Release your arms by your sides, shake them out, bring life back into the body. Good. So we're going to do a little exercise. We've done this many times before. If you haven't done it with me, please don't worry about it. I'll talk us through it. But we're going to do our little breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. And we're going to keep doing that, okay? So if I said that a little bit too quickly, chaque mouvement, il y a une respiration. Fait que les 2 mains sur les hanches, on va commencer avec le jambe droite. Fait que les 2 mains sur les hanches, we're going to breathe in, lift up your right leg. Breathe out, you're going to kick it back, toppling tree. On a fait ça tantôt. Breathe in, bring it back up. Breathe out, kick it out. Breathe in, open up your leg. Breathe out, send it behind you, curtsy lunge. On va faire ça un autre 3 fois. Maybe you get jazzy with the hands. Bring the hands to your heart. Breathe in, knee up. Breathe out. On penche. Good. On inspire, on plie dans le genou. Expiration, longueur dans la jambe. On inspire, on ouvre la jambe. Expiration, all one exhale, send it back in curtsy lunge. 2 more. You could keep your hands here. Breathe in and out. In and out. Kick it out. On ouvre la jambe. Open it up. Breathe in. Exhale, drop it back. If you're good here, stay. Otherwise, challenge yourself. Lift your arms up. Breathe in. Toppling tree. Send your arms back. Come back up. Breathe in. Kick your leg out. Exhale. Breathe in. Open it up. Je sais que ça brûle. C'est la dernière. Exhale and drop it down. Good. Breathe in. Come up. And drop the foot down. Exhale and fold. Flow it out. Breathe in. Halfway lift. Position de planche. Chaturanga. Exhale. Upward dog. Breathe in. Downward dog. Breathe out. On inspire par le nez. On ouvre la bouche puis on expire. On marche. You can walk your feet up. You can hop. You can step, step. Halfway lift. Et on plonge. Inspiration, cercle les bras, circle your arms to rise. Come up, come up, come up. And hands to your heart center. Exhale, right away. Same thing, other side. Hands start here. Breathe in. Send it back. Breathe in, come up. Exhale, kick it out. Open up, breathe in. And curtsy lunge, bring it down. Maintenant, on sait qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire avec les bras. You want to come here right away? By all means, come here right away. Sinon, les mains devant le cœur. Expiration, come down. Breathe in, come back up. Exhale, kick it out. Open up. And curtsy lunge. I'm going to do the last 2, arms in the air. Breathe in, come up. Ça c'est à moi. This is on me. If you want to join me, please do. Exhale, toppling tree. On plie dans le genou, on inspire. Extension, expiration. On ouvre, on inspire. Curtsy lunge. Last one, up and back. Up and out. Open, curtsy, breathe in, come up, et on flow, expiration, on plonge. Halfway lift. Exhale, plank, and hold your plank pose here. We're gonna do just jumping jacks with the feet. If this is too much impact, if open and close is too much impact, on fait côté droit, côté gauche, côté droit, côté gauche, okay? So you kind of alternate. If that hopping is too much impact, we're gonna do 8 all together and start now. Open, close, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Come back, drop your knees, Chaturanga. Upward dog, breathe in. Soupirez, really sigh it out, downward dog. Take a deep breath in and out. Come high to the toes, bend the knees, step, step, walk, or float to your hands. Halfway lift. Et on plonge. Rise, inhale. Et les 2 mains sur la hanche, expiration. Hands come to your hips, take a really nice big step lengthwise on your mat. Perfect. So try to make sure that you're facing the camera as much as possible so that you'll be able to see what's happening if you need to turn your body. Les mains restent sur les cuisses, hands rest on your thighs. And then we're going to bend into the knees and just start to shimmy into the hips a little bit. Good. You can either keep your fingertips pointing out or pointing down towards the floor, whatever feels best. We're trying to find a little bit of a wider and a deeper range of motion. You can go as slow or as quick as you'd like. We're bringing more depth into the hips, into the hip flexors. If you'd like, you can drop down one shoulder On peut déposer une épaule au milieu et on utilise la main du même bras pour pousser le genou. So this was my hand here. This hand here is pushing my knee, pushing it away, and I'm dropping down and opening the heart. Come back to center, hand on the belly, hand on the back. Un main sur le ventre, un main sur le dos. Note if you are dropping your belly and send your pelvis forward. On veut imaginer qu'on peut glisser le dos sur un mur. Your back is so flat, you should be able to glide it. Arms are nice and wide, palms are facing up. Good. And we're gonna inch. Good. Side to side. We're in goddess pose. Getting into the hip flexors for 3, 2, last one. Back to center, breathe in, rise. Exhale, cactus arms, drop down. Good, 2 more, up. Maybe you drop down a little bit lower, exhale. Last one, up. And let it go. Good, come to rise, breathe in, point your toes forward. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. On plie en deux. On peut déposer les mains sur le tapis ou sinon on peut prendre les coudes dans les, excuse-moi, les chevilles. You want to grab your ankles, you can. From here, we're going to find our way into Pigeon Pose. Okay. You might be asking yourself, how are we going to go from here to that? So bring your hands down. Inhale, come up. On marche les mains vers le pied droit. Walk your hands to your right foot, turning onto your heel and turning onto your toes. Yes, drop down onto your left knee. Et ici, on marche le pied droit. Walk, walk, walk that right foot so that it ends up onto the left side of your mat. And now you found yourself down in Pigeon Pose. So you want to make your way all the way down. Good, génial. On peut rester ici, you can stay here. We're going to hold here for about 5 breaths. Fait que peut-être on commence ici et lentement on trouve notre place peut-être sur les bras. If you don't melt your way down, please don't worry about that. This is really about coming back to the self. Fait que c'est ça qu'on a noté au début du cours. Aujourd'hui, c'est vraiment, every day, every practice, every yoga experience should be about you. But I'm really making that the focus of today, noticing the body, noticing the little cues, the little signs, the little messages that it might be giving us. Letting yourself take 2 more here. Last one. Très, très lentement. If we were on our arms, on our belly, anywhere where we weren't on our hands, take your time to make your way up. Curl into your back toes. On veut que les mains soient en dessous les épaules, hands under shoulders. Curl your back toes, lift your back knee. Take your time. If it feels good to kick it up into a 3-legged dog, you can. Otherwise, just come right into your downward dog. Take 2 here before we switch sides. So if you're up here, you might even want to open up your leg a little bit. Just play with the hip a tad. As long as the space is there, the invitation is there. Quand vous êtes prêts, on va faire ça de l'autre côté. Fait qu'on dépose les 2 pieds sur le tapis. Jambe gauche, left leg up, breathe in. Bend into the knee, exhale, send your body weight forward. Uncurl the toes, fait que le genou gauche vers le poignet gauche. It's always same knee, same wrist. Walk your leg back, take a peek behind you. On veut être sûr que la jambe en arrière est complètement longue. Ça inclut le pied aussi. Fait qu'on veut pas que la jambe reste longue puis le pied est comme ça. We don't want the foot to be turned. You want your toes to be pointing directly behind you. Take those 5 breaths to make it work for your body. Two more here. Last one. Everybody meet with your hands onto the mat, curl the toes, lift up the back leg, breathe in, come out of your pigeon, maybe into a three-legged, maybe you bend into your knee, maybe you just find downward dog. Excuse me. Let's do one last flow, really nice and slowly. Très, très, très lentement, on marche les pieds vers les poignets, demi-remontée. Et on plonge. We're gonna do it right away. So breathe in. This is what I mean right away. We're gonna inhale, arms come up, and then right away come into your fold. On expire, take your time. Extend your exhale, control your body. Breathe in, try to follow my pace, really slowly peel away from your thighs. Press into your legs so that your back is long. Le plus long expiration possible. On dépose les mains, step back one foot at a time. If you need to use your knees, please, please do, because we're making this really nice and controlled. Inhale, chest through the arms or baby cobra, either or. And a really nice long exhale for your downward dog. On inspire. Et on dépose les genoux. Come down onto your knees. Exhale. Sit back onto your heels. Take a breath. Reset. Sit onto one side. Extend the legs out. We're going to find bridge pose here. So bend into your knees. Les talons très proches de nos fessiers. Walk your heels extra close to your bum. Arms are by your side. Quand vous êtes prête, on décolle les pieds. Make sure your feet aren't glued together. And lift up those hips. Breathe in. Maybe you squeeze your shoulders together. Maybe you don't. Take 4 more here. Keeping your chin away from your chest. Last one. Bring your arms back by your sides, lift up your heels, breathe in, and slowly melt all the way down. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a really nice squeeze. And we're gonna find our supine twist. Release your left leg, jambe gauche sur le tapis, genou droit, tire vers le corps et on utilise la main gauche pour lui guider. Fait qu'on roule, roll onto your left side. And you can either let your right foot rest on your left thigh, or if it finds the floor easily, you can let it rest there while you open up your right arm. Et on respire. In a twist, it's a little bit harder for the lungs to fully expand because the rib cage is kind of, I don't want to say the word crushing, but it is condensing the expansion a little bit. Fait qu'ici, c'est important de noter que les respirations doivent être un petit peu plus lentes pour que ça soit un petit peu plus profond. So slow down your breath so that they can be deeper. Last please, please, please take your time to come out of this twist. It's very deep. You can always reset by placing both feet onto the floor, finding center first. On peut rester ici si c'est confortable, or if it feels really good to bring your knees into your chest and flush that out, you can rock side to side. Whenever you're ready, other side, so right leg comes onto the mat, left knee into the body, opposite hand, opposite leg, so it crosses over your torso, and then you roll, pick up your hips, don't forget. And remember, slow down the breath so that it can be even deeper. Last one. Slowly guide your way back to center. On revient au milieu. Le dos est plat, so flatten out that back, neutral spine. Bring your knees into your chest for one final hug. You can either grab for your knees. If it's accessible to wrap your arms completely around your legs, you can also do that. Et tout ensemble, on prend une inspiration par le nez. Inhale through your nose and hold the breath. Hold, 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 hold. When you're ready, breathe out your mouth and release your arms and legs. Exhale. Les jambes, les bras, les mains, les pieds. On relâche tout. Let it all go. Let it all fall. Let the mat, let the floor, let the energy of the earth catch you as you let yourself go. This is where we release any and every idea about how our breath should be. Releasing the idea that the breaths need to be incredibly deep. Just resort back to your natural pace. And imagine all of the buzzing, all of the circulation, all of the energy, everything that you are feeling directly within and very closely without. Notice how much of that energy belongs to you. Notice how much of that energy was created by you in this last 60 minutes. Peut-être c'est un bon moment ici. Si on a encore une énergie qui est avec nous, peut-être c'était quelqu'un aux épiceries, peut-être c'était nos enfants, nos conjoints, peut-être quelqu'un qu'on habite avec. If it's somebody that you encountered on the street or somebody that you lived with, if you're noticing residual lingering energy that doesn't belong to you, this is a really beautiful time to release it and pay only attention to what you have created and how that feels within you. Ça, c'est une pratique très, très importante qu'on doit utiliser tous les jours. C'est quelque chose qu'on peut appliquer sur le tapis et hors de nos tapis. So remember that yoga is really about creating systems where we can take ideas and take practices, not just on the mat, but off the mat. Let yourself take 2 more breaths here. Once you've completed your second exhale, I invite you to begin bringing life back into your fingers, into your toes. It's completely up to you. If you'd like to keep your eyes closed here, you may. Et on trouve un étirement du corps complet, so a full body stretch as you reach your arms back, point your toes forward. When you're ready, maybe rolling into the fetal position on one side, and then pressing yourself up very slowly. No rush, absolutely none whatsoever. Finding the same seat that you were in at the beginning of class. Fait qu'on termine où est-ce qu'on a commencé. It's a really nice place to really bookend the class, ending it exactly as we began, in seated. On ferme les yeux, puis on prend 3 respirations ensemble pour fermer le cours. 3 breaths together. Take a nice inhale through the nose. And out the mouth, exhale. 2 more. And your last one. Get really nice and loose with your jaw when you exhale. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your chin to your chest. You can even bring your hands to prayer if that's comfortable for you. Et on prend ce petit moment ici, un petit moment pour remercier le corps, remercier notre pratique, remercier nos respirations, notre énergie, même quand on ne peut pas pratiquer ensemble, on trouve une façon de pratiquer ensemble virtuellement. So being thankful that even if we can't be in the flesh, that we have this virtual opportunity together. I want to give thanks to each and every one of you, whether present live or after the fact, for trusting me with your breath, with your body, with your movements, and for allowing me the honor to guide you. And as always, I remind you, each and every one of you, not only to have a beautiful day, a beautiful week, a beautiful month, a beautiful life, but I remind you always to choose courage over comfort. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Namaste.